Good evening, friends. It's Rick here from the night of 3 April 2023. Hope you're having a great night. Anyways, my talk tonight is inspired by a conversation I had with a colleague last week. And essentially, this is about Christianity and communism. I've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again in light of what this person mentioned. Now, this person is not a Christian person. That's okay. No disrespect for that. There are people that are not. And we have to live with that. Not judging him at all. But what he said was interesting. He said that if socialism and communism, he used them interchangeably, which is correct because they are. As Lenin said years ago, the goal of socialism is communism. So he was correct there, using them interchangeably, and he admitted that socialism is the precursor to communism. I got to give him that. But then he went and said that if these, socialism and communism worked the way it should, that would be exactly what Jesus Christ would like. Because it would make everybody equal. Okay. I think he really meant that, in all honesty, because I really like this person. I really do personally think highly of him in other ways. In this way, I don't. I think he's 100% wrong. Unfortunately, a lot of people think like him. A lot of people who are Christians think like him. He's not a Christian at all. So I give him a little leeway of ignorance. I'm not condoning that silly philosophy because I think it's really off the wall, but a little bit of ignorance. I don't think he opens up a Bible or anything like that. I got it. But sadly, like I said, there's a lot of Christians think like that. I've seen them over the years. Let me discuss that a little bit. Okay. Everybody being equal. Okay. There's a misnomer about this equality stuff. Socialism and communism do make everybody sort of equally poor. It's happened everywhere. It's implemented its talons. And you always have these people, well, it hasn't really done it right. We're going to get it right. Democratic socialism and all this stuff. We're going to do it right finally. No, socialism and communism is doing exactly what it was supposed to do when it was formed. Okay, well over 100 years ago. And as oppressed people, because socialism and communism is predicated on the government having everything and the government playing God. Now just think about this for a minute. Is that what you really want? How many governments across the globe have corruption or have had corruption in history, and even in modern history, and even right now? Even with their own government. How much corruption have you seen? Lots of it. And I think most people would admit to that. With that being a true statement, you want that to be that much more powerful and have control over you, and you want to trust this entity. See, the government is run by people. Many, many corrupt people, many times. Not everybody is, but a lot of people who have power hungry are human beings. But yet the government acts as a god under communism. Does that make any sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. At all. Okay? I'm not even talking about Christianity right now. Just as an entity, having all that authority after you've seen the corruption government can do, you want that much more authority over you. I don't understand. But let's get back to Christianity. Makes everybody equal. First of all, if anybody's read the Bible, even a little of it, they understand that Jesus Christ was never talking about equality of people as far as a social class. He never mentioned that, and nor did he live it, because he was way below equality as far as human social class. Heck, he was born in the most worst conditions. Animals in a stable place probably smelled. It wasn't the most sanitary, probably horribly sanitary. You couldn't get a worse type of place to have a birth. That certainly wasn't equal. And he never aspired or talked about himself gaining wealth or anything like that. Never did that. Never did that. Never did he talk about the importance of money or wealth. Yes, he talked about treating every human being has to be treated with dignity, and equal dignity. That's not the same as what this gentleman was talking about, equality of class. Totally different. Treating every human being that comes from God and understanding that every human being has a worth is what Christianity talks about. Nothing to do with communism and socialism. Nothing to do with the political act. Nothing politically about that, or nothing at all. And when people say that it's going to make people equal, it does not. First of all, social class of equality doesn't even make any sense. Trying to say, think about socialism and communism destroys ambition for people who are ambitious. Because the government says, we're going to take away what you have and give it to somebody who's not ambitious and try to make everybody equal. You destroy that. You need people that have talent to be entrepreneurs. You need people with money. Okay? Jesus never said you can't have money. What he was saying is that it's difficult for rich people to get into the kingdom, because a lot of times when people get money, they don't care about God or anything. They become very materialistic. But you need the Danny Thomases and the different people who create jobs and all the different entrepreneurs and smart businessmen, and see people who have all these companies, these talented people who create places for people to work. You need them just like you need the workers. You need the construction workers, the teachers. You need people in the military. You need different classes to run properly. You can't have everybody equal. It doesn't make any sense. People's talent levels, people's aspirations are not equal. Okay, you can't force feed and say, well, you're up here and you're trying to really do all these things. We're going to take you down and we're going to bring somebody else up just for the sake of being equal. That's not what Jesus said. That's not going to run any. You're going to destroy anybody's sense of competition or trying to. Why would you want to be a doctor and go through all that work when somebody has much less education than you and I'm not cutting them down. I'm just saying all that effort, if the government's going to take away all your profits and say, oh, you're not going to get this. You only deserve this. Why would you want to do it? Okay? A lot of people who want this type of government, of course, they don't understand Christianity at all. They also don't have much drive or desire, so they don't care if somebody can give them a handout. But if you're a person with ambition, the last thing you want, and you want to drive, whether it's your own business, owning property, whatever you're doing, the last thing you're going to want to do is be under a socialist regime, because you're going to get stripped of all that. And please don't tell me it's Christian. It is so anti-Christian. Why do you think all the time socialist governments hate Christianity, Judaism? They hate the Christian Judaism brand of people. They hate it. It's always tried to squash it throughout history, because they understand that Christianity, Judaism, all that genre, have an aspiration to a higher authority. We don't have an aspiration to think of a government as a god, because it's not. All right? The founding fathers wanted a very limited government for a reason. And the majority of them were Christian people. Yeah, they had their faults, but they were Christian people. All right? If the government is a god in socialism and communism, the more communist it gets, the more of a god it becomes. That is totally opposite of Christianity. Totally opposite. Okay? And that's why it's always tried to squash Christianity. It's never been in one with Christian. Never has it ever been. There's a reason for that. So with all due respect to my friend, very good man, he is, I believe was sadly mistaken, but sadly he thinks like a lot of people think. Communism is in tune with Christianity. It is not. It is not. All you have to do is read the New Testament one time, and not even all of it, just one book, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, just one. Forget all the rest of the Bible, just one of those, and you'll see how wrong that is. It's Rick here on Monday, April 3rd. Have a great night, and God bless.